Hey y'all, so today I've had a very eventful day. Um, I went out this morning to sell some of my books, and it was very eventful today. But what I wanna, I know y'all can't see me, but it's all right. Y'all know how I look. But we really have. I didn't realize the homeless condition right here in my city. I knew there were homeless people here. I've seen homeless people. But when you spend the whole day out, like in the streets, you know, you really get to really actually see it. I came across so many homeless people, and all of them were men, and all of them were young men that were homeless. And it just sort of, it bothered me. It really bothered me because it was so many of them. I know it was about I didn't count them, but I want to just say maybe about 10 or 15 that I encountered while I was out, today. And one man came up to me and he even asked me for a quarter. He said, "Ma'am, do you have a quarter?" I said, "No," because I didn't have a quarter. I didn't have any cash on me. He said, "Okay, thank you, ma'am." And then, he asked me about my book. And then, he went on about his way. And but like I said, several of them came up and talked to me and was asking me about the book. Very nice, very well, respectful. But it was just so many. I mean, what is going on, you all? What is going on? I just could not believe the mass amount of young men that were homeless. And yes, they looked like they were on drugs. And it just sort of tugged on my heart, what is really going on? What is really happening to the men? And I know if it's like that in my city, I live in a small city, it's got to be like that in other cities too. Well, of course, yeah, bigger cities have homeless people more than we do. They just live and sleep on the streets. I mean, sometimes I'll be wanting to know what is people's story. How did they end up in that condition? And I know life is tough. There's been, hey, I could be homeless. Life is really tough. And then I think about the person's mental condition, because a lot of those men, they were just picking up cigarettes off the ground and, smoking them. Just random stuff off the ground. They would pick random cigarettes. They would just pick up buds off the ground and smoke them. So, the mental capacity of those men is not well. And it's so many of them. It's so many. I really believe that there's an attack on men, in their authoritative right and authoritative position in the earth. Because if you do take the man out of his position as a man, things will begin to crumble. Now, I believe a man is a man, and a man should run households and authoritative positions. I do. We need men, honey, and it does not, take away the worth and value of a woman. It ain't nothing like that. Women, we have our places too, and yes, I say our place because we do have a place. Men have a place, women have a place, and children have a place. But there is something going on with the state of men, with men. So we might want to be prayerful about the state of our men in our cities, in our homes, in our churches, wherever they are. I just believe men should be the head and should, rule. I just do because that's the way God has ordained it to be so. But it was just so many young men that was, on drugs and homeless that I encountered today. And it was just so much that I was like, wait a minute, something ain't right. When you see one or two or three, but when you see 10, 15, almost 20 young men, so some that something is that's spiritual. That's something that's happening in the spirit realm, I believe, when things like that happen. So you all just continue to pray for the condition of the men, that God will restore our men to the rightful positions, rightful state of mind, and rightful places in the earth, their rightful place in the home, their rightful place in the church, their rightful place in our nation. We need men. We need men, y'all. Sober minded men. Men that love God, that can direct and guide. And I'm telling these young men, to see so many young men, y'all, that was just wow. It's just mind blowing. But anyway, I've had a very eventful day. I'm tired. I'm getting ready to call it a day. But y'all have a great weekend and be safe.